Hello YouTube. There was a big study done on training to failure or training close to failure and determining how much muscle and how much strength was built. And what the conclusion they ended up coming to was the group that ended up training close to failure versus the one who trained further away from failure. The one who trained closer to failure made more gains because they did additional reps, additional volume essentially, and that was the reason that they made the gains. And something that was really interesting was those who train to failure, so let's say you can do 225 on bench for 5 and you trained up to 5 and you tried for a 6 and couldn't get it, that made the same amount of muscle as the group that trained just close to failure but not to failure, and it actually resulted in worse strength gains. And this makes a lot of sense to me because what you'll notice if you pay attention is that some of the strongest people in the world are not the most muscular people in the world, because your strength is not just ultimately derived from your muscle mass. There's a strong correlation to if you have more muscle, it's likely you'll be stronger. However, your central nervous system firing and helping with the contraction of your muscles is a huge part. So central nervous system efficiency really, really matters. In terms of when you train to failure, you're really taxing that nervous system very hard. You experience a lot of neuromuscular fatigue, so your ability to be able to contract as hard is going to be impaired. So if you know that more to a large degree is better with training volume, and that training to failure will end up in worse strength gains, the primary part of your training should be spent around enough volume, enough reps, enough sets, close to failure but not to failure if you want both muscle and strength. And this is one of those things where you don't have to pick one or the other. You can get both strength and muscle at the same time. So learning how to find that balance and learning the right amount of intensity and volumes and sets and reps is something that is going to be highly individualized, where every single person is going to see it a little bit different. And then actually the way that people's muscle fibers are composed is actually different. Some people have muscle fibers that work really fast and are really good at strength, like 1 rep max type stuff. And some people might have slower twitch muscle fibers, which might not be as good for that and might be better for endurance. So this is one of those things where if you're new, it's going to take some time. This is a great area to have a coach in or someone who's really experienced to be able to help you, or you have to do a lot of trial and error to be able to determine what is working and what's not working. But a simple rules to this to me is, I really preach 5 working sets twice a week in a challenging state but not till failure. And each week you try and overload. You can add, if it's too hard to add weight, you can add reps, and you go until you get close to failure. And then once you basically reach failure, to me it's time to start over and go back over all that again. But it's very likely that the new starting point you're at will be a higher starting point than before. It's a lot of words, this one. I'm a big fan of reading these papers and trying to give people what the fuck are they talking about? What do I need to learn from this? What do I need to apply? But that would be my takeaway. It's not a straightforward answer. There's a couple basic rules you follow, and that's the best I can give you.